I don't have all the best ideas. How do I find my ideas? I talk to people that are doing it better than I am. I talk to other people who have other great businesses, not just real estate, and get their opinion. Making agents aware of who you are, what type of person you are, and being another option for them if they ever were considering change. Now that you have a clear understanding of what you want your agency to be, you need to consider how are you going to get there? What do you need to build? What people do you need? What systems are going to work best? If you've got a goal of growing your agency by 5 agents, what's it going to take to do that? You think 5 agents are just going to knock on your door in 12 months? If that was the goal, 5 agents in 12 months, you think they're just going to come knock on the door? They're not. None of them are. What do you need to do to achieve something like that? It means you probably need... Agents, welcome to the Get Keen podcast, your #1 destination for learning how to get the most out of your real estate career. I'm Dan Lee, founder of Plum Property, one of Queensland's largest independent real estate offices, and Plum Partners, where we've helped dozens of agents create, run and grow their very own agencies. On Get Keen, I chat to high-performing agents, principals, and agency owners, so you have the tools, strategies, and insights to grow your business and live the best life for yourself and your family. Now let's get keen. All right, you ready to win on the Get Keen podcast? That's why you're here. I know you want to win. I know you want to be better. So today I wanted to touch on being an agency owner and how to be the best at that. I'm going to show you how to win as an agency owner and how you can build your business into exactly what you want. Not the agent next to you, not the industry leaders, not the agents you see on those ridiculous Netflix shows, exactly how you envision your business to be. I'm going to break this journey down into 5 parts, starting at number 1, what to do. First of all, consider what type of agency are you actually wanting to build? That's a really important question because it can steer the total direction of your brand in the beginning. And if you don't have a vision about where you want your business to be in 5 years, then you're just blindly going out there, seeing what happens, and maybe you're going to end up on a path that you're not actually wanting to get on, okay? Your business is going to grow into something that potentially you don't want. So you have to have a vision of what you actually want. I'll give you an example. When I started my business, I knew right from the very start that I wanted, because I love leadership and I love growing people, and that's how I think I'm going to be the most successful person for myself, is by helping others to grow. And I feel like that's in my deep down desire. That's what I want to actually do for fulfillment and how I can give value out. I always wanted to have an agency that wasn't about me. So I didn't want my agency to be focused around me. I didn't want to be the #1 agent in my own agency. I wanted to have a team of exceptional people, exceptional agents, property managers, admin people, whoever's in my business. I want it to be big. The vision was big outside of me. And so what that did, it made me think about my brand in a way where my brand needed to suit a very wide range of people, which is part of the reason I came up with Plum Property, which is a story for another day. But in saying that, you see a lot of agents put a business in their own name. Now, there's nothing wrong with putting an agency in your own name. However, if I was to do that, I would probably be envisioning my business to be all about me. So being the main lead agent who wants to have a team, and it's kind of all focused around me as the agent and not about the broader vision of a team being involved. And there's some arguments to that to say, well, why is there things like Ray White and LJ Hooker and McGrath, which are all named after successful agents who became agency owners? And I mean, my thought process on that is that that's a fairly old school way to do things, to put your name in it. And back then, that's what everyone did. But also, those people in particular were extremely good at what they did. Like, they were top 0.1%. And I think if you are in that sort of percentage, it maybe is a stronger idea to call it after your name, because you have such a big following and so many people that look up to you in your name that perhaps it is better in those specific situations. But for the majority of people, even if you're successful, maybe your name's not actually big enough to warrant putting your name in it unless it's just going to be about you. Okay. The second thing is to define your vision. All right. So consider in great detail exactly the business that you want to run and be a part of. Okay. So for me, sorry to relate it back to me again, but just speaking from experience, because I've done this from the ground up, I wanted to have a property management department from the very beginning. I made that decision and I strategically focused on the things that I needed to make that happen. And I've seen a lot of agents go into a business and they don't even know that they want a property management division. And then all of a sudden they're just selling, they haven't decided they want it. And then they get an opportunity to take on a rental and they just go, oh yeah, I'll take it on and I'll figure out how to do a property management department while I'm at it. But they have no strategy. They don't even know if they really want it. They're just kind of taking it on as a hobby to see what happens. And it ends up being a complete catastrophe and a massive waste of their time. And they don't get the right people in to handle it. And it ends up affecting their business really badly. Now, that's just an example of not defining your vision properly. Someone who wants to genuinely start a property management division will find the right person, put the right people in place, get the right software, and then go out there and try as quickly as possible to put as many managements as possible because they're trying to grow a business. They're not doing it as a hobby. If you're doing something like that as a hobby, it's going to just do you damage. So again, other parts of your vision. Is your vision to have like a sales division of other people? Because if it is, if that's your vision, then that will help you to understand or create your ideal work week and put details into exactly what you need to do to create that business. So if you want to have salespeople and you've got the vision of salespeople, then you'll automatically know that you have to start contacting salespeople. You have to be going out and meeting with them. If you don't actually know that that's your vision, I'll just go out there and I'll sell and I'll see what happens and I'll see how the business goes. But you don't actually have a vision of this big agency. You probably just won't do the activities you need to create that type of thing. And it will just end up being a business that may be somewhat successful, but could be way more successful if you actually know where you're going. And the last thing is with your vision, what's the type of culture you want to have? What are the types of people that you want to have on your team? An example for me in the past where I didn't plan enough and actually could have been a lot better was with my particular sales team, my sales team within my own business. As a selling principal in the beginning, my income's so important to the business and I always wanted to do more sales, but I didn't for a long time actually have a strategic plan for how to do more sales. I was just coming in every day working as hard as I can, and for quite a number of years, I got good results, but not a lot of growth. I sat around the $800,000 GCI mark for 4 to 5 years starting my business when I could have quite easily, with a few changes and some strategic decisions, probably become a $2 to $4 million agent, not being any more talented, but just working smarter. So setting up the team better, actually having a strategic plan about my marketing, having a strategic plan about the exact types of people that I needed to have within a team that could help me to produce more. So it's not about when you get to that stage, it's not about being more talented. The talent is actually just making a few strategic changes to your team. And, thankfully over the years, I've been able to reflect and recognize things like that and then help other agents within my own business and even outside my business to become aware of things like that and to help them strategically think about what they want and then put an action plan in place to make those activities happen that will get them to their goal. So these days, not being in sales, real estate sales, I definitely work with a lot more strategy behind how I'm going to get to my goals. And I found that it has really helped me to grow and achieve more in a quicker period of time than I have previously done in my 20s and 30s. So now that you have a clear understanding of what your agency, like what you want your agency to be, you need to consider, how are you going to get there? What do you need to build? What people do you need? What systems are going to work best? What marketing do you need to bring in enough leads to feed yourself, your own sales team, or your agents? There's so many things that you need to think about, but what do you need to build? Strategically think about it. It's probably something that you need to do once a quarter, just sitting down, looking at your business from a helicopter view, looking at the next 90 days, deciding, what do I need to achieve? What do I need to build? What connections do I need to make? For example, you're a principal of an agency. You say, I want to have the big agency. What do you need to be doing to find young associates to come and join your business? Do you need to be doing some Facebook ads, some Instagram ads to get out there to say that you're on a growth plan and you want some great, energetic, motivated people to come and make a career in sales, and that you've got the tools to help them have a fantastic career? Are you contacting other agents in your area frequently and not giving up on the first time when they don't contact you back, and asking them out for lunch just to get to know them, letting them know that you're on a growth path and that you're trying to build a agency with the best agents, and that you'd love them to be a part of that journey with you, and you do whatever it takes to help them get to their goals, and just making agents aware of who you are, what type of person you are, and being another option for them if they ever were considering change. What type of people do you need to help you to get there as well? You know, do you need recruiters? Do you need a coach or a mentor? That's something that's always been really important to me, is having people to talk to. I don't always have the right answer. I don't always have the answer to the things that, the questions I've got. I don't have all the best ideas. How do I find my ideas? I talk to people. I talk to people that are doing it better than I am. I talk to other people who have other great businesses, not just real estate, and get their opinion. And honestly, most of what I've learned from other people, and most of the great decisions I have made in my life, they're my decisions, but a lot of them have been on the back of advice of people who have already done it or are doing great things themselves. What do you need in your corner? What activities do you need to do in order to make these things happen, right? Non-negotiables. How many meetings do you need to book a month with agents and go and have coffee? If you've got a goal of growing your agency by 5 agents, what's it going to take to do that? You think 5 agents are just going to knock on your door in 12 months? If that was the goal, 5 agents in 12 months, you think they're just going to come knock on the door? They're not. None of them are. What do you need to do to achieve something like that? It means you probably need to meet 30 agents. If you want to try and convert 5 of those over to your agency in a year, how many coffees do you need to have? How many lunches do you need to go for? At least 1 a week, probably more. So relate that to every part of your business. How many agents do you want to grow up through the business as fresh agents to, from associates to qualified, skilled agents? If you want to grow by 5 in the next 2 years, that probably means you need to bring 15 associates through your business, because they're not all going to work out. Some of them are going to find out they don't want to do real estate. Some of them are not going to be any good and just not going to suit them. Every part of your business needs these thoughts. What activity? You do it in your sales, right? You say, what do I need to do to get 50 sales? Well, I need to letterbox drop 1,000 houses a week. I need to make this many phone calls. But how do you think in the same way about your business and the growth of your business? Again, it's all strategic thinking and then putting action in to make it happen. Another really important thing to think about is why are you doing this? What is your why? Right? I know we hear that a lot. It sounds cheesy when I say it. What is your why? Because I hear it so much, but it is really true. Is it just for the money? Is it because you just love building something? Is it to look after your family? Whatever it is, like that's the thing that's going to push you through the hard times. Most people do it for their family. They work really hard and they want to be successful because they have a family, they have people to look after, they want to be that safety net for their friend, their family and their children. And that's a huge why for most people. And it's enough to drive them to just get up every day and give it their all. And it's what they think about all the time in the hard times. I'm doing it for my family. And if that's your why, then that's easy for you. It's such a great why. You've got a great pillar in your life, obviously, family, and you want to keep it safe. That's amazing. But if that's not it, what is it? I mean, partly for me, it's part family, but it's part that I want to live the best life I can possibly live. And part of being happy for me, it's not financial. Obviously, financial's happy, but it's the fulfillment that I get out of building something and feeling like I'm giving everything to my life, because it goes really quickly. And before you know it, we're retired. I'm 40 this year. Wow, it's different to reflect on my age now at 40, but I remember 10 years ago being 30 and thinking it was a long time till I'm 40, and it's gone by pretty quickly. And as you get older, you value time more and more every year because the end is coming closer. So for me, I just want to get to my deathbed and know that I've done everything I can to achieve the most and live the most fulfilling life. And at the same time, if I do that, I know I'm going to be in the best position to look after my family and have enough money to do all the things I want to do. So that kind of works hand in hand. So what is your why? Why are you doing this? Why do you even want to grow an agency? Why do you want to have a big agency in comparison to a small agency? Because a big agency doesn't necessarily make you more money. It comes with a lot more stresses, a lot more emphasis on leadership over individual sales. I would say probably a lot more stressful in the long run having a larger business compared to a smaller business. And quite often, many business owners find that whilst they had a small business, they were quite profitable. And then when they have the larger business with all the extra costs, they actually ended up being more stressed and less profitable. However, some would still find it more satisfying to have the bigger agency because they get more fulfillment out of being the leader and driving a vision and things like that. But if you don't care about any of that stuff, like if you don't care about having a big agency with lots of people and you don't really like looking after people or building a team, then don't do it. Hey guys, just quickly, if you're loving this content and you're a real estate agent that's already thinking what it might be like to have your own real estate business and brand, then check out the show notes. There'll be a link to our Plum Partners website where you can leave an inquiry and me or one of my team members will reach out. We help agents to create, run, and grow their own real estate business and brand so they can earn more and set up a better future for themselves. So get keen, get in touch. Now let's get back to the episode. You can make more money being a team of 3 or 4 and just making as much commission as you possibly can. So what's your why? It's really, really important. Look, it's not an easy path. Whichever way you go, everything about business is stressful. I think everything's stressful. Alex Hormozy said this really great quote. He said, business is stressful. Not having a business is stressful. Growth is stressful, but not growing is stressful. So really, everything is stressful. There is no easy path, which leads me to my next point. Who do you need to become to build what you want to build? That's super important. If you want to build the big agency with lots of people, then a lot of people are going to look up to you. You're going to be the mentor and the leader for a large group of people. If you were working for someone who was the leader of a big organization and you worked in that person's business, what would you expect them to be like? Would you expect them to be fit and healthy? Would you expect them to be a really good person who's great to their family and has amazing values, who's inclusive, who is inspiring, full of energy, has growth, has vision, has a way of bringing people together and getting the most out of everyone? Is that who you'd want to work for? Is that what would keep you sticking around to, help build that business? I'd say yes. So is that the person that you need to become? A bit of self-reflection here. And, I've had to do a lot of this, and I'm not perfect myself, but I know a lot of people look up to me within my own business, and that I'm the captain of the ship. During violent times, I'm the one that needs to stay steady and keep the ship steering forward. I'll give an example of this. During COVID, a lot of business owners just freaked out. Business shut down for 6 weeks. It was a really scary time for every business owner. Every person, really. People didn't know whether they were going to have a job in a few weeks. Business owners didn't know if their whole business was going to be able to survive through this period. And a lot of business owners completely freaked out. And in the first week with the shutdown, they fired a whole bunch of people and were very reactive. And they didn't just take a breather to say, hey, let's just all slow down and figure this out. I'm really proud to say I didn't fire one person over COVID. And then it ended up being the most amazing thing because after 6 weeks, the whole market turned around from being absolutely stopped at a standstill to being the most explosive market we've ever seen. And there was a massive job shortage. And all of the agency owners who had let people go in that terrifying few weeks of lockdown were then under enormous pressure to quickly hire and try and fill the gaps in their business because they were all of a sudden really busy. And they were the ones that paid for it because they freaked out. And they didn't work it out as a team. So that's just an example. You, as the business owner, you've got to be the one who keeps calm during those stressful times and leads people through difficult times. So are you that person? And part of that is just building confidence. Are you promising things to yourself and then not showing up? Are you saying you're going to go to the gym at least 4 times a week and not doing it? If so, maybe that's something you need to change. Because people are going to look up to you a lot, and you need to be able to show up for yourself to prove that you can actually show up for your team. I'll just expand on that point a little more. If you look in the mirror and you think, I wouldn't want to work for that person, then it's time to make some change. Is it time to get back in the gym? Is it time to eat healthier? Is it time to treat your partner better and get home a little bit earlier some evenings to spend a little bit more quality time, or be on your phone less at home? I mean, even these are things that I need to answer for myself sometimes. What is the person you need to be to have that business that you want? Hey, look, don't be afraid to get some help. I had help in my corner my whole career. And I would even say some of my greatest development has come in my latest years, where I've got some really professional coaches on, paid a lot of money for them, and invested in getting great advice and coaching to help me become a better leader and deal with the stresses of big business, and help me to focus on growth and help me with my time management. So, I've had help to become the person that I want to be, and there's still a lot of work to do. So what do you need to get to where you need to go? I would 100% say that if you don't have some sort of mentor or coach that you pay for every year, and it doesn't have to be 100% of the time, but at least in spurts, it could be 6 months, you have a coach, you could have a 3-month break, go 6 months again, or whatever it is. A lot of successful people have a full-time coach forever. Me, I've had years at a time and had breaks in between, and I've switched coaches and mentors a few times so I can learn skills from multiple people. But if you're not doing that and you don't feel like you're the best person that you can be, I would seriously recommend finding yourself a great mentor or a great coach, and reach out to me if you need some suggestions. I've got some really good ones. The last thing I want to talk about is, when do you need to do it? Okay. If you're going to grow a great business, what's the best time? It's such a hard question, because the answer is there is never a perfect time. There's never a perfect time to leave your current agency. There's always something happening in your life. There's always something happening in your work which is going to hold you back. I'll give you an example. I had an agent who was wanting to start their own business and join Plum Partners last year. And one of the reasons holding him back was that his wife was pregnant. And he said to me, Dan, I want to wait my wife's pregnant. I want to start my own business eventually, but want to get the baby out of the way first, and then I'll look at doing something. And, I think that was just a blockage that he was purposely putting up because he's actually scared to make the move. Because I asked him the question, do you think it's going to be easier for you to start your business when the baby comes, or do you think it's going to be harder? And when he actually sat and thought about it, he was like, it's probably harder, right? I said, absolutely it's harder. Mate, you're going to have half the time. You're going to have to be a better partner and a more supportive partner at home. It's going to be, you think you're going to have the baby and that's the right time? The right time is now, because now's the hardest time to get it started and get it off the ground. And it's not even as hard as you think. But when that baby comes, you are going to thank yourself that you just did it now, right? You've got the skills, you've got the profile, you've got the relationships. You can do it now. And so he took that advice, thankfully, and crushing it already. But the same can go for the other side. I've also seen agents who would definitely not successful enough, did not have the right experience. They're 1 or 2 years in, they've done about 10 deals. They're not really cutting through really well. And then they're talking to me about wanting to start their own business. I have to have that honest conversation with those people just in my experience and say, like, if you haven't yet reached a level of success where you're comfortable that you can make enough money to actually get out there and have business frequently flowing in, it's probably not a good time to do it yet. You need to master your craft a bit more. So when do you need to do this? If being a business owner is the end goal, what do you need to have in place first? My opinion, you need to have good market share. You need to be earning a certain level of income, and you need to be confident that you can frequently win business. All right. So those are going to give you the best chances of success in business. I hope that any potential business owner out there got some great advice and tips and value out of this. This is all based on my own personal experience over time and the lessons I've learned from other great mentors and coaches. If you like this content, please give me a like. A 5-star review on Spotify would be awesome. You legend. I appreciate that. It makes it all worthwhile making this content for you. My goal is to give agents great value, to help agents become great business owners, and for great agency owners to build the business of their dreams. And if I can in any way help you with that, then that's awesome. That's why I do this. Thanks for coming on and watching the show, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you for tuning into the Get Keen podcast. If today's episode inspired you, please show your support with a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And make sure you subscribe on your favorite platform too. Don't stop there. Join our community of forward thinkers by connecting with me on social media at Dan_Lee_Plum. I'm looking forward to exploring more strategies and insights with you on your journey to the top. Until next time, keep getting keen.